Guru Deva Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Welcome you all. So let's do the prayer. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraet nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtraki. Hare Krishna again. So let's recap what we learned last week. Last week we had class, right? Okay. So from this chapter, from this entire canto, right? So there are a lot of discussions happens between Narad Muni and his father Brahma, and after that, now the Parikshit Maharaj is asking all his questions, which are I don't know if you all read this chapter. These are so important questions, and most of the time it will come to our mind also. What happened that one? Who created this one? Why he created? What is the spiritual versus material things? When the Lord come into this material world, and how he is not attached to this material, how he is always be detached. So there are a lot of questions he asked in these chapters, and over the period of this entire Bhagavad Puran, uh, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is giving the answers. So his primary questions is in the beginning, maybe we will read all the translations, but I want to just give just a high level of the summary. What are the important questions he asked, and he is going to ask. And these questions, answers, eventually we will get from the different cantos also. And some of the questions is entire summary of all the Upanishad, all the Vedas is coming from the canto number 12. So as part of the study, right? So we are not going to get the answers. The questions are asked now, but over the period of the different cantos, we will come to know that from the canto 3, now the Lord Kapila, that conversations we are getting the one answer. And he also asked, one of the question is, how the Lord perform his Leela along with the Yog Maya, and at the same time he disappeared without attached to this material world. How he can do that, and who is that person? So now his questions are, is, now I typically ask that why he's asking questions, so that the all the future generations, they will get that details one way. But when I was reading this chapter, I was thinking one thing is, why he is asking question. One is, yeah, definitely for our benefit. Now think, put ourselves, everyone, just for the few moments that we are Parikshit. We have 7 days. Are we going to ask this question? आज की डेट में मेरे पास 7 दिन बचे हैं इस प्राण को त्यागने के लिए. क्या मैं ये सवाल पूछूंगा अपने गुरु से जाके, भगवान के बारे में बताइए सब. The typical, so मैं ये खुद सोच रहा था कि if I was in the place, now I got 7 days guaranteed. 7 days is there. आप 7 दिन के बाद आप अपना प्राण त्यागने वाले हैं, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, क्या करना चाहिए मुझे? पहला, हमें भागवत पुराण से होता है यम यम वापि स्मरण भाव. हम अंत समय में whatever at the end of the life I am going to remember, I am going to get it. That's true. But I'm ready to do that thing at the, if I know I have only 7 days, is I'm going to ask these, like almost he asked close to 15 questions to this one. So this is, you have to practice yourself and asking what I will go to do. And I was thinking that I'm going to negotiate and ask, instead of 7 days, can you give me 70 days? I will go to the India and cover all my business and everything, go to the lawyer, मैं अपना will proper, अच्छा, I will prepare my will, and I will make sure that whoever leftover people, जब अपने dependent हैं, child हैं, all these people will taken care once I will leave, because my leaving is guaranteed. So when I was reading, I was thinking that what I'm going to do. So all the time I'm saying that when we read the Bhagavad Puran or Bhagavad Gita or any other literatures from the Rupa Goswami, the important point is, what is the takeaway which I can implement in my day-to-day life? There is no point of remembering everything, become a jnani and you remember all the shlokas. The basic core concept of the reading the Bhagavad Puran is how I can implement, what I can do in my remaining period. So, and my second thought when I was ending the chapter is, Parikshit Maharaj was fortunate. He know he has 7 days. We don't know we have 7 days or we have 7 years or 7 months. So if I'm taking that conclusion, what I should do now? Correct? That's very important. There is no guarantee. I'm saying the 7 days means after 7 days we will have this class. And now, yesterday I was in this Sankirtan in the Narsimha Center. They were singing. While singing itself, we need to practice that this is my last 5 minutes. Sachidananda Maharaj, he was doing the japa class. In that, he was giving that 5-10 minutes of practice. Chant like that you are crying for Lord and you have only 5 minutes. Just pretend that you have only 5 minutes, how you are going to chant now, how you will call Krishna. He literally showed that example to so many audience and so many times that whenever you chant and whenever you think that way, you have to pretend or practice in the way that this is your last chanting. Maybe I'm not going to get the more time for chant also. So these questions, definitely we are not going to get the answer of all of them. I jump into those cantos and I was reading what it says because I have some books, it's showing the reference, but I'm going to read those questions and then we need to meditate on those questions. The Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days, he's not asking that, okay, what happened to my kingdom? What will happen, this or that? He completely left over, he handed over to his son. And at the same time, he went to the shore of the Ganges and he was sitting there and practicing that without food and water, I want to give up my life. Then Nārada Muni came, hey, okay, you should not do this one. You should hear about the Leelas, all the Krishna's Leela at the time of the death. So then he reached out to Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and that entire story, we know that one. So my third thought is, Parikshit Maharaj, before he born, we learn in the canto number 1, Parikshit Maharaj, before he born, we heard so many glories of his. He is not ordinary child. When he is going to born, what will happen? When he become a king, what will happen? He is like a one of the ideal topmost king of that period. That was the prediction for him. And now so much of knowledgeable, and his grandfather was Arjuna, and he is the same leniency of that Krishna and all the spiritual people. After having that one, when he heard that at 7 days, he is more interested to hear about Krishna Katha. So how we can convince ourselves that I have only 7 days? How I can practice? If I have only 7 minutes, what I should do? We need to practice. This is what I'm learning from these questions, that how he is utilizing his time. He is asking very genuine questions about more and more digging into this one. What happened? Tell me about the things. How he came. When he come and do all the Leela under the Yog Maya and he was covering his mother's eyes with, okay, I am the Narayan, and everything he is showing, but at the same time, he is not attached. How is possible? So that's the questions. So I'm going to read most of the questions very high level, and then we will go to the individual translations. And Prabhupada gave some descriptions because these are all questions, but Prabhupada nicely explained. So first questions we already read from the canto number 2. We are on the chapter 8, questions by King Parīkṣit. And 7th we covered. We are going to go from the 8th, but I will read that 7th question. He was asking about how did the Jiva, who is spiritual, attain a body with his material? Is very, very good question. Did we ever thought that our spirit soul is spiritual, but this body is material? When the spiritual thing is sitting inside our body, but it still is not attached to this body. This material body has some expiry date. We all have expiry date of 70 years or 100 years. Some of the fortunate people, maybe they go beyond the 100 years. But our soul is eternal, it's spiritual. And he was saying that, tell me about the jiva. And then the shloka number 8, I'm going to go through the very high level the questions. Then he was asking, both the Lord and the common living entity assume the body. What is the difference between them? What is the difference between the Lord himself, his body, versus our? We know that both are. Krishna's body is eternal, is a spiritual. We have eternal body. Prabhupada was, if you read the purport of this one, Prabhupada is giving the example that we all are part and parcel. Some of them, he was giving the example of elephant versus the ant. Both having the material body, but the both have the same thing is the Jivatma. So he was asking, tell me the difference between what is the common, we all have the body, but what is the difference between both the entities? The spiritual, which is the Lord, who is coming in the material world, and we are also in the material world, and what is the difference? And the third question is, the Brahma appear from the Lord navel. Is the Lord form similar to that of the material body of the Brahma, or is it different thing? And the answer to these, maybe I can tell, answer to these questions are some of the answers. I think first two answers will come in the next chapter, chapter number 9. But the questions to the third one, the Brahma, who is appeared from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and when he appeared from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from the lotus flower, and he was there, and one of the shlokas is means Ajaha, means he doesn't have any mother and father. He just appear from the mercy of the Lord, and all the creations is done by the instructions of the Lord himself. Because when he was there, everything we heard in our previous thing, where the Brahma was mentioning, he was trying to give the obeisance, offering and everything. He took the body parts of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and he started doing the sacrifice. But everywhere is the darkness. So he did for so many years that sacrifice. Then the Lord become more happy. And then Lord gave him the instruction that your job is to create this world. You have to manifest. So now the question is, what is the difference between the Brahma body versus the Garbhodakshaya? What is the similarity and what is the difference? So that is the question. I have heard the planet and their governors are imagined as the limb of the Virat Swarup. Please explain more in detail. He was asking that also. Yeah, all the Virat Roop. So we already read in the beginning of the chapter, and I was mentioning that his entire Bhagavad Puran is the small, the first two cantos was representing the lotus feet of the Krishna, and similarly is going from 8, 9, and the 10th is the face, 9th is the neck, and the 11th and the 12th canto. So entire Virat Swarup he was asking, and he is not asking just that detail. He was asking the Virat Roop with the all the different demigod and the planet and the different universe. Please explain me in more detail. And he was also asking how much is this various different ages and the planetary system exist, how far it will go, how many times it's recreated, and when it's annihilated. Please tell me more detail. So again, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Śukadeva Gosvāmī. And also he was asking the lifespan of human and devtas and etc. So these are the answers we will get in the Canto 3. And in Canto 3, the other question he was asking in the shloka number 15 is creations of various places in this universe and their inhabitants. This is very good. We heard here also, we know that different planet has the life, and he was asking that, tell me about the different creations of the places. And here the Prabhupada is touching that one, that our Karnodakshaya Vishnu, which also called as Mahavishnu, his each hair in the body, from that pore the one universe came. So it's very difficult to count the hair in our body. That many universes are there, and each universe has Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and each Garbhodakshaya Vishnu has one Brahma. So now he want to know more detail about each planetary system. What are the different planets he created, and what are their durations, and who live there. And the second question, the next question in the Shlok 16, he was asking about, tell me the dimensions of the universe, characteristics and the activity of the devotees, characteristics of Varnashram. And these details we will get in the canto number 5 and 7. Tell me what are the dimensions of each universe. I don't remember exactly. I didn't went to this one, but he was asking. And the shloka number 1 and 16 and 26, they are talking about the dimensions of the universe. And he was asking about all the different dharmas. The next question is, tell me about why the different dharmas are there. And out of that one, what is the topmost dharmas human being has to perform? This is very good question for all of us. Prabhupada touch on some of the purport in that one, but it will come in the canto number 7. Canto 7 is, I think, Prahlad Maharaj, where the Prahlad Maharaj teaching will talking about all these dharmas. And he was asking about question, tell me about the Sankhya philosophy. And that will come again in the canto 3. What is the Sankhya philosophy? And how to worship the Purusha avatar. What is the method of doing this, all the sacrifice and everything? And he was asking that one. And the next question he was talking about, tell me the conclusion of all the Vedas, Upanishad, and all the Puranas. Tell me the summarized version, and that will come in the canto number 12, where we will get the details. What is the origin of the Vedas? What is the origin of Vedas actually? Anyone remember? How the Vedas appeared? Right? हमारे ये जितने भी वेदा हैं उनका ओरिजिन कहाँ से हुआ? हम 4 वेदा बोलते हैं, ऋग वेदा, अथर्व वेदा, साम वेदा एंड यजुर वेदा, 4 वेदा हैं, उनका ओरिजिन कहाँ से? सिंपल आंसर है, एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम कृष्णा. यस, या कम फ्रॉम कृष्णा. कृष्णा ने ब्रह्मा के जो 4 मुख हैं, जो कान है, फेस, उन चारों को एक एक वेदा सुनाया था. फिर उन चारों मुझ से अलग अलग जो क्रिएशंस हुए, एक डायनेस्टी को एक पूरा वेदा सुनाया कि भाई तुम ये सुनो और उनको आगे स्प्रेड करो. फिर दूसरों को बोला ऐसे स्प्रेड करो. तो इस तरीके से गया था. ये उन्होंने अपने कानों में सुना ही है, लिखा हुआ नहीं है. पर लिखने का काम हमारे वेद व्यास जी है, जो एक उसमें आते हैं और उन्होंने सबको लिखा गया. फिर नाउ अब सम ऑफ द किड्स दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. सो द प्रॉब्लम है कि वो इतने डिफिकल्ट हैं कि समझ नहीं आ सकता. देन दे सब डिवाइडेड इनटू द पुराणास एंड उपनिषद कि हमको समझ आए. हमारी बुद्धि फिर भी इतनी तेज नहीं है. We are not that intelligent. Then again further divided into the small acharyas came and they spread into the small versions, and the Bhagavad Gita is the condensed versions of entire Veda. So what is the purpose of reading Veda? क्या पर्पस है उसका? हमें क्यों रीड करना चाहिए? मतलब ओवरऑल उसका निष्कर्ष क्या निकलता पढ़ने के बाद?
नो कृष्णा.
To know Krishna. This simple answer. After reading all this literature, if we don't understand the purpose of that literature, is the waste. Because in entire Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that you have to understand me. Whoever understand me, again he was creating more confusion. Out of thousands and thousands people, only one will understand. That's so complicated. So the purpose of the entire Veda and Bhagavad Gita, to understand the Lord. That is the one thing we need to understand. When we preach also, our preaching is, how it will say, is our preaching is to give the Krishna to other person. But what we immediately think that, oh, is I am doing it. I am the doer. That's the problem, our mentality. That मैं कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा होता है. वो मैं आना ही नहीं चाहिए. Our part is I have to just give this knowledge to him and then leave remaining to Krishna. Because sometimes the person will get lot of opportunity, but Krishna will never give that knowledge to other person. And I was listening to one lecture. One Maharaji was saying, when the people are, I myself, I'm telling myself that it happens. Hopefully, कितने लोग हैं कि कथा सुनते सुनते नींद आ जाती है? मेरे साथ हुआ है। मैं खुद एक बार, मैं मानता हूं कि मैं गीता माता की क्लास में बैठा, मेरे को तो पता नहीं अब क्या था, मेरे को, मैं सामने बैठा, मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है मैं अपने आप को पकड़ के ऐसा आंख खोलूं ऐसे करके, पर नींद इतनी आ रही है। तो वो कारण क्या है? हमारे जो पुनर्जन्म है, जो प्रीवियस बर्थ, वी डिड सो मच ऑफ सिंफुल एक्टिविटी, उसकी पनिशमेंट मिलती है कि हम भगवान की कथा के सामने बैठे हैं, हमें कोई कृष्णा देना चाहता है, पर भी हमारे आंख नाक कान बंद हो रहे हैं, हमको नींद आ रही है। कभी ऐसा होता है, और कभी कभार तो हमारा जो स्पीकर होते हैं वो ही हमको फोर्सली नींद करवा रहे। बच्चे नहीं, एक ही बच्चा, सबको सुनाए, समझ आ रहा है। सो द थिंग इज, अनिका एंड अनिशा, हु डजंट नो हिंदी? Only Snigdha says, we will give Snigdha Hindi classes then. So from after the music classes, maybe we will ask Hridayananda Prabhu to have Hindi classes, basic Hindi. So it will be easy, because here Amma is here. So she's asking, okay, why don't you tell in Hindi? So the thing is, the purpose of this listening katha is we have to be very, very attentive. Like in the chanting, we say we have to be attentive and very focused. So listening to the katha is because the Krishna is entering from ears and it will go to our hridaya. And hridaya, as soon it will enter in the hridaya, everything, all the magic will start happening. But what happen is our eyes and nose will start closing when we hear the katha. We will falling asleep, and then our concentrations go all over the place, and then we will start thinking when this class will end. Correct? This happen because Maharaj is saying this happened because of our previous karma and some sinful activity. Krishna doesn't want. He gave the opportunity to sit there, but he doesn't want you to listen to the katha. So if sometime you have this need, right? So in one of the etiquette book I was reading, so this, maybe we will cover this etiquette book one time. It's very small. If you have sleepiness and thing, better you can stand and go and wash your face and come back. Try. Krishna is trying. You should not listen. And from your effort, go to the bathroom and wash and stand, whatever you do. But it is focus on that class. And I'm pointing myself. I myself happen in temple one time. Few time in the Gita Mataji's class happened that I was falling almost is the thing. And I think she noticed, but she didn't say anything. No, but happened. So, right. So where we are now, we are listening all the questions. What is Parīkṣit Maharaj? Okay. So that's one thing is, so this is not your mistake. You already did the mistake in your previous birth. That's why you are getting the punishment. So when the katha is happening. But the one thing I noticed, speaker also play the role. Correct? We think it's about to end, then someone asks the question and the question will go for 20 minutes. Right? So the question is keep on going, and the next question, it happened like 2 or 3 times. It's happening in our class. Then I said, okay, let's take the questions during the prasadam. So everyone is happy. We are not stopping everyone. So that's sometime we have to do. But some speaker gave very long answers. The answer will go for 15 to 20 minutes. So that's the difficult part. But overall, we need to try to focus in our class. So going to the few other questions are left. So he was asking about, so give me the conclusion version of the Vedas, Upanishad, and why it was spoken, and what are the purpose of these Vedas. So the answer is to understand Krishna. When we read the Bhagavad Gita or any Purans, our whole intention is, I want to go closer to Krishna. I want to understand him, why Krishna performed these Leelas. Right? And he asked few other questions about the Siddhas and a different appearance and reappearance of the Krishnas, different incarnations, different planetary portions. But if you see that one, he built the next, all the 10 cantos, summary of this one he is asking so that he can get the answer from the different cantos. So to give the answers, now so the important is the Bhagavatam Puran start from our Lord Kapila story, because now the Lord himself start giving the answers. When he was giving the answer to his mother, Devahuti, and his father Kardama Muni. वैसे मुझे ये नाम याद नहीं रहता, आज luckily नाम याद आ गए. So Lord Kapila, Devahuti, and Kardama Muni. So we will learn more detail about the Lord Kapila's stories and what are the questions asked by her mother also. Mother is asking so many good questions in the Lord Kapila, the teaching of Lord Kapila. There is one book, Prabhupada compiled that entire canto in the very summary version of Lord Kapila teaching. Okay, so with that, so this is the summary of the questions which we are going to read now. So what we will do is, so how many shlokas? 24, 25, no, 29 shlokas. So I gave the summary, but we would like to start from shloka number 8, and everyone from my sequence, we will read four shlokas, and just meditate on these questions. We are not getting the answers. The answers will come in the future cantos. Most of the answers will be covered in the Lord Kapila, and till the canto 12, we will get the answer. And I will remind you, okay, this question is asked by Parīkṣit Maharaj in our canto 2. Now hear the answers. So we will build that story now. So let's go with my screen. Amit Prabhu is on the top. So Amit Prabhu, can you read from shloka 8 till 12? 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 shlokas. Only the translation.
Okay. Text 8. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is possessed of gigantic body according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of Lord and those of common living entities? Text 9. Brahma, who was not born of material source but of lotus flower coming out of navel abdomen of Lord, is the creator of all those who are materially born. Of course, by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to see the form of the Lord. 10. Please also explain the personality of Godhead, who lies in every heart as Supersoul and as the Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy. 11. O learned Brahman, O learned Brahman, it was formally explained that all the planets of the universe with their respective governors are situated in the different parts of gigantic body of Virat Purusha. I have also heard that different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of Virat Purusha. But what is their actual position? Will you please explain that?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Snigdha, you want to go next? 4 shlokas.
Also, please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation, and that of other subsidiary creations, as well as the nature of time, indicated by the sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration and measurements of life of the different living beings known as the demigods, the human beings, etc., in the different planets of the universe. O purest of the Brahmanas, please also explain the cause of the different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time following the course of action. Then again, kindly describe how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from the different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being, promoting or degrading him among the different species of life, beginning from the demigods down to the most insignificant creatures. O best of the Brahmanas.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. Yes, please, one more.
O best of the Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the 4 directions of the heavens, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as their different kinds of habitats, takes place.
Thanks, Snigdha. So here one thing is very clear. In our Bhagavad Puran, it's clearly mentioned that there are other universes where the people are living. Right? In our theoretical, in the scientific way, the people are still seeing that, okay, there is a water in Mars, there maybe the people are living. They are trying to find out from the scientific way, the proof that, okay, there is a water, there is a people kind of thing. But our Bhagavad Puran is clearly says that, because the questions what Parīkṣit Maharaj is asking is clearly stated that one. And it's also mentioned in our Canto, I think 5 or 7, is mentioning the different universe with the different thing. One universe is full of milk. Instead of the water, salty water we have, they have a milk and butter are flowing all over the place. They are full of diamonds. All that mountain and everything is covered, and all the light is coming only from the diamonds in those planets. So these are references from Bhagavad Puran. If someone says, "Oh, I don't know if it is possible to have a life in different planets," here is the clear answers which Parikshit Maharaj is asking Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Let's go to Pankaj Prabhu. Partha Priya Prabhu is here, and you are going to read 4 shlokas, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific division, as well as the character and activities of the great soul, and also the characteristics of the different classification of the caste and order of
Social.
life. Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation and also the duration of each such ages. Also, tell me about the different activities of the different incarnation of the Lord in different ages. Please also explain what may generally be the common religious affiliations of human society, as well as their specific occupational duties in relation, the classification of the social order, as well as the administrative royal orders, and the religious principles for one who may be distressed.
One more.
19. Kindly explain all the elementary principles of creation, the number of such elementary principles, their causes and their development, and also the process of devotional service and the manner of mystic powers.
Very nice. So again, so as I mentioned, that Vanaprasth and all the different 4 things he is asking. What are the royal status and the different thing? And it will come. And the Lord Kapila also covered that one to his mother, Devahuti, about that one. So all the different things, different principle, Vanaprasth, Sannyas, Brahmachari, Grastha life. So all the 4 different activities. And what is the important is specific occupational duties in religion, which we heard and learn in our Bhagavad Gita also, in our Karma Yoga chapters. So what is the duties in the religions, right? So we need to understand in more deeper way from the God himself. Lord Kapila is mentioning, and in the different stories, we will come to know. And in the Ajamili stories also, we will come to know. Because he was following the very perfect Brahmana religious principle, but somehow he fall down. So in that chapters, in the cantos also clearly mentioned how we should perform. Okay, so Anika, you want to read 4? Anika, Prabhuji, and I think what you can do is, Prabhuji, take maybe 3, that way. Or because
Okay.
Karthik is also, yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
333-222.
Yeah, you are starting from 20th. You can go up to 26.
Okay. So 222. Text 20. What are the opulences of the great mystics and what is their ultimate realization? How does perfect mystic become detached from subtle astral body? What is the basic knowledge of Vedic literatures, including the branches of history and supplementary Puranas? Text 21. Please explain unto me how the living beings are generated, how are they maintained, and how are they annihilated. Tell me also the advantages and disadvantages of discharging devotional service unto the Lord. What are the Vedic rituals and injunctions of supplementary Vedic rites? And what are the procedures of religion, economic development, and sense gratification? Sense satisfaction.
Text 22. Please also explain how merged in the body of the Lord living beings are created and how the infidels appear in the world. Also, please explain how the unconditioned living entities exist. Text 23. The independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at the time of annihilation gives them up to the external potency, where he remains a witness to it all. O great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness in all that I have inquired from you, and all that I may not have inquired from you from the very beginning of my questionings. Since I am a soul surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge in this connection. O great sage, you are as good as Brahma, the original living being. Others follow custom only, as followed by the previous philosophical speculators.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Anika, Anisha. So 26th, Karthik, you want to start? So in this, the previous 4-5 shlokas, what he really asking is, one, he was asking about, tell me about all the different Vedas, right? And the third, he was asking about in the 24th, if you 24th and 25th, he was asking about the great sages represent any equations, and I have to inquire from you all that, inquire from you from the very beginning of my questioning. Since I am the soul surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge in these connections. So these are very good questions. At the end of the thing, I was thinking that he asked like 23 or 24 questions. How the Śukadeva Gosvāmī remember everything, but he narrated so nicely, all of them in very deeper fashions. So now I think if I'm going to ask you, okay, what was his first question? We don't remember now what he asked. But now Śukadeva Gosvāmī remember for till 12th canto. But these are very difficult things because Śukadeva Gosvāmī and Sutta Goswami, they are so heavily, like their memory is so strong that they don't need any book or anything. Once they listen, means is imprinted in their mind. So these questions, that's how the Śukadeva Goswami remember all of them. So Karthik, you want to read? Is the Kirtana and Anish there?
No.
Today not there.
No.
So you
Today they are
only
not
two
there.
yeah, read only 2 shlokas, 26th and 27.
Text 26. O learned Brahmana, because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting. Text 27. Sutta Goswami said, thus Sukadeva Goswami being invited by Maharaj Parīkṣit to speak on the topics of Lord Sri Krishna with the devotees, we are very much pleased.
Very nice, thanks. Prasanna Mataji, you are there? You want to read last 2 shlokas? She's not there. Anyone else wants to read who missed? Karthik is raising hand. Okay, Kiran Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, sorry, I'm driving right now, Prabhuji.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's give it to Kiran Mataji. Yes, Mataji, please आप read करिए 2 shlokas. उनका
अब बोल सकती हूँ?
हाँ, बोलिए, yes.
He began to, कौन सा पढ़ी थी? 28th ना?
28, बिल्कुल सही है.
हाँ. He began to reply in the inquiries of Maharaj. गिर गया. He began to reply to the inquiries of Maharaja Parīkṣit by saying that the science of the personality of Godhead was spoken first by the Lord himself to Brahma when he was first born. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supplementary Vedic literature and it is just in the pursuance of the Vedas. 29. He also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parīkṣit had inquired from him. Maharaja Parīkṣit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandus, and thus he was able to ask the right question from the right person.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So what we are learning here is there are some close to 20 questions which is asked by Parīkṣit Maharaj. So as we know that these are the conversations happening between Parīkṣit Maharaj and Śukadeva Goswami. But this entire narration is presented by Sutta Goswami to Saunaka Rishi and their associates. So he remember all the things, all the Bhagavatam. Now he's narrating that, okay, these are the questions asked. So now moving forward, we will get the answers to all of them. So again, my humble request, please go back, read what Prabhupada is also talking about. He didn't give much of the detailed purport in this chapter, but there are still some of the example Prabhupada was mentioning about each of his questions. But we will get more details in our canto number 3, 5, 7. These are very prominent, where we are talking about the Kapila Muni and Prahlad Maharaj, that Gajendra story. From there, we will get a lot of the details from there also, right? So with that, I would like to pause here. Anyone has any questions, comments, thoughts?
I have some.
Yes, प्रभु जी, 1 minute. मैं ना ये वैसे recording को भी stop कर देते हैं हमारा.
Yeah.
We will discuss.